Hello, welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with our weekly romance reading. I'm pulling this on January 15th, but if this is coming across your feed, then there's probably a message for you here. As always, this is a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Let's keep going here. We have some Cancer Moon energy still hanging around. It's like, I don't know. I feel very at home because that's my sign. What do you want this collective to know here, God, for their romance journey this week? So you've got the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Cups. I love the Queen of Swords in this deck. She has such a different vibe than like the Queen of Swords in the Rider-Waite Tarot. So she can often feel to me almost like kind of stern in the Rider-Waite Tarot, but I just adore her here. There's like this beautiful softness to her energy. I feel like she's everything good and wonderful about the element of air. I'm super drawn to the butterflies as like her transformation. I love the swans kind of behind her. They're, I've mentioned them. They're like a twin flame symbol because they mate for life. The rainbow feels like transformation for me. And especially like this light kind of coming off of her crown chakra, I just feel like it shows her kind of like using logic, right? Like divine logic, her divine intuitive connection to source, God, the universe, like whatever you would believe in, right? But that place where she's like really tapped into the love of the universe, the creation of the universe, right? And being able to use that wisdom in such like a sweet and loving way in order to kind of like gently bring about her own transformation. I just feel like there's this blossoming energy here of this radiance around her, almost like an abundance of love and peace and beauty. Kind of in a calm, I feel like there's a calm to this card as well. So I don't know if that will resonate for you guys in terms of maybe traits that you are embodying right now, or maybe this could be a person in your life. Could be like a mentor, a friend, could be a person coming in, right? The Ace of Cups is one of the sweetest cards to get in a romance reading, right? So that's that card of new love and abundance of love. I adore the lotus flower symbol. I just always feel that as like the opening and the blossoming of the heart chakra, kind of the blossoming of the crown chakra, right? And that enlightenment being open to the universe. I'm super drawn in both of these cards. So I was talking about this starry light kind of coming into her crown, but look at this one too. It's like this light beaming down from the heavens with this peaceful bird. I had mentioned, feeling a lot of peace with this card. Moving into this place of like opening and new love. It's really beautiful. So I'm feeling that there's like this really peaceful, lovely transformation that is happening within you that I think is helping you like open into new love, or maybe transform into like the person who you need to be in order to attract like a divine connection. We have the Princess of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands. That's funny. It has a misprint. It says 10 of Wandy instead of Wands. I wonder if they're all like that. I don't think they are. Interesting. So the Princess of Pentacles, I feel like I'm always drawn to the fact that she looks like she's either pregnant or like becoming divinely pregnant in this card. So literal physical pregnancy might resonate for some of you, especially with this like this energy here of like this radiance coming down. It's honestly reminding me of a vibe of like the Virgin Mary, kind of the Archangel Gabriel, right? Like beaming light through her window and telling her that she was pregnant by God or whatever. Forgive me, I was Catholic when I was a kid, so I don't know that I correctly said that story, but I think that's what I remember from it. But there's sort of a similar feeling of like being like divinely blessed and having it be so peaceful and such like a pure, beautiful love. And like the transformation around that, it feels like this is a spiritually transformative love. So again, it could be literal pregnancy for some of you guys. Or I like to also think of pregnancy as like a manifestation, right? So if we kind of plant the seeds of manifestation, they sort of germinate or gestate until they're ready to be born. So I just think even the symbolism of pregnancy as allowing that manifestation to develop and come into fruition. I'm drawn again here to the swan on this card. So it's funny that I pointed that out. So swan symbolism may be important to some of you guys. White birds in general, because we even have like the dove here. But I'm feeling that. Like, I feel this as a twin flame connection. I've shared with you guys. That's what resonates for me. The 10 of Wands is feeling like that energy of like you're ready to lay down a burden. So this could be something that you've worked really hard on. Like if you are on the twin flame journey, or if this is any sort of significant spiritual romantic partnership, you have worked hard to get there. Like a spiritual partnership like that doesn't just fall into your lap, right? It's accompanied by doing the inner work, right? And really being kind of on that journey of doing inner work together. I'm drawn to this bear as like support, which is kind of a funny vibe, but I feel like he's kind of comforting this guy with the weight of his paws on his shoulder. So I feel like there's some support or guidance for you here. Just from the divine, kind of around like this has maybe been a heavy journey or a hard journey, or maybe you're kind of just going through a tough spot right now. And I feel like the steadiness and the groundedness of this bear is just telling you that everything is going to be okay. Yeah, I feel that. The Knight of Wands, I feel like wherever you've been kind of struggling or having difficulty with manifesting maybe this relationship. So it could be manifesting actually meeting the person, right? It could be manifesting moving to the next step in your relationship. So maybe you were just dating, but now you're like officially boyfriend and girlfriend, or you're officially moving in together or something like that, right? So I'm feeling like there's a manifestation of like a next step in life together. It could be that you're already partnered together and now you're, like I said, you're getting pregnant or you're getting married or something like that. I feel like this little bear just putting his paws on this guy's shoulder and saying like, it's okay. You've been kind of carrying the burden of doing this inner work. Which feels very beautiful. It feels very worth it, but it's also hard, right? It can be hard to be that vulnerable and honest and be kind of looking at our own shadow side and things like that. So kind of, it's almost like the difficulties that are in your relationship are what's falling away with that 10 of Wands card. It doesn't mean you'll never have difficulties again, but I almost feel it as like a world card vibe where it feels like you're really leveling up. So this layer of difficulties, this layer of lessons is coming to a conclusion with this beautiful, sweet energy. I don't even know that I have the words to express. It's extraordinarily sweet. It feels very peaceful and very innocent. And just like this divine nurturing and blessing energy. It's so beautiful. I feel like the Knight of Wands is saying, once you kind of move past or release this last round of like lessons or burdens kind of at this level that you're working through, I feel like it's going to change fast. That's what I'm getting from him, is like that fast vibe. And I like that he's fire because it feels passionate too. So it's kind of like a fast, passionate change that's upcoming for you. And the 8 of Pentacles, what I just got from that is like that ascension spiral, right? That we talk about sometimes, where if you look at it from one angle, it looks like you're just going around in a circle. But if you kind of turn it like this, you realize that the circle is actually this spiral that goes upwards. So the 8 of Pentacles is showing me that it's almost like this level of things that you're working through passes very quickly. And then the 8 of Pentacles means there's more work to do. And it's like always the nature of it, right? When you're in a really high level spiritual relationship or connection, yeah, like it's your kind of your job for each other as partners, right? That you bring up things to assist with your ascension that can be cleared from your consciousness. So, but I feel like the 8 of Pentacles feels less difficult than the lessons that were in the 10 of Wands. So it's almost like saying that you're closing out a more difficult cycle energetically. There are huge rewards here for you in terms of peace, enlightenment, like your connection with the divine, your personal transformation, sort of this joy blossoming, right? With the lotus blossom and even the rainbows in this card, the sort of overflowing, like innocent, pure, beautiful love. That's all the things that get to come in as you're closing out this cycle and releasing this last piece to be healed. And I feel like the Eight of Pentacles, because you have worked through whatever these difficulties are from the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles feels more grounded and it feels like more fun. So the Eight of Wands does have like a heavy or a burdensome energy to it. And the Eight of Pentacles feels like a little more deliberate and a little more focused and a little bit more skillful from you. So I feel like as you're wrapping up this cycle, you are developing skills and gaining knowledge and like gaining a lot of wisdom, right? And kind of growing up and leveling up spiritually to where you have a much stronger foundation from which to work on like the next level of issues. So it does feel like a huge leveling up, both from yourself personally as like a divine being, also within this like really divine relationship connection. So I feel very much like you guys, my spiritual teachers talk about like each partner kind of has their own side of the garden to tend to, right? And it's that partnership, it's that work. So you're both planting the seeds, you're both weeding out the weeds and tending to the soil and watering everything, right? It feels like you guys are both together really doing the work and doing like an equal amount of work, but maybe it's not going to look exactly the same on the outside. But I really do feel like whoever is in this partnership, both partners are equally invested, both partners are equally putting in the work and equally making the effort. So I feel like both of you as individuals and your relationship dynamic are all like leveling up, are all learning these lessons and moving to the next level. So I'm feeling like that Eight of Pentacles is just saying you have so much more knowledge and a stronger foundation and a better skill base, more wisdom, more peace, more abundance, more love. You just have like more to work with. There's so many blessings here and it makes it feel easier, right? Because even if the challenges keep coming, it's like your foundation and ability to kind of deal with them gets even stronger and stronger. So I'm feeling called to say, like, if you're in this collective, this kind of difficult period is passing. And I do feel like you're coming into a period where, yes, you're still going to be doing the work together, right? Of the relationship and of your own personal stuff. But it feels much easier. It feels much more stable. It feels much more steady. I think it's going to feel like a breath of fresh air for you. I keep seeing in my mind's eye and like having the feeling in my body of like when you're outside, like hiking or climbing on rocks or whatever, kind of getting your feet planted really firmly underneath you. If you're kind of going up like a, treacherous area or something, that it's almost like you finally got your feet planted really firmly. You've got this good, stable foundation and like, that you can safely take the next steps. That's what it feels like. And it feels really nice. So this relationship is kind of grounding. It's grounding in a way that I don't feel like it's been grounded before. God, what advice do you have for the folks in this collective for their romance journey this week? Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Interesting. There's our swan again. That's so funny. Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Yeah, it feels like being zapped out of the doldrums. That's like, sometimes the cards will specifically say words to me, and this says getting zapped out of the doldrums. So we have our swan again, right? And I feel like this is someone who is sort of like, ho-hum, nothing is really happening for me, right? Like maybe you've done a lot of work in this connection or as partners together, and you're not really seeing like the outside results of that work. And sometimes that can happen, right? Like sometimes people work for years on manifestations before they finally kind of blossom into their physical reality. But I feel like this Eight of Wands card, this zapping, is reminding me a lot of the energy of that Knight of Wands, where it just is feeling like movement. It feels like energy kind of being infused into this connection. And it's like the thing that kind of takes you up to the next level. So I really am feeling that that there's going to be kind of a sudden or fast like shift or change. And it doesn't have to mean like we don't have a tower here, right? I don't think it has to necessarily mean like one big event that makes everything come crashing down. But I do feel like it's like 1 week you'll wake up and be like, whoa, a week ago my life was like this and now it's like this all of a sudden. We got, oh, this is a bunch. We've got the High Priestess, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, and Temperance. I'm feeling a bit like this is one of those rows that feels like I'm reading it from the outside in, where the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords are sort of the hurt places. And these guys almost feel like bookends that are kind of helping like protect you or help you grow in those areas. So this is my advice side over here. I'm feeling like this row is maybe pointing a bit more to what this 10 of Wands burden might be, what it is that you're working through that's going to kind of bring this like level up energy. So the 5 of Pentacles for me is about, I'm feeling the energy a little different actually. Give me a second. I was going to say it feels like being left out in the cold, which is usually my meaning for it, but it actually feels a little bit more like you're leaving yourself out in the cold because you're not appreciating. So I'm feeling like an energy here where some gratitude might be helpful and also like a willingness to ask for help. So in the traditional 5 of Pentacles card, there's like 2 figures walking by the church that has all of its lights lit and it's like snowing outside, but the church looks nice and warm on the inside, but they're like not going in the church to ask for help. So I'm kind of feeling this one of 2 ways. One is like you have the resources there, you have the things that you need, and being grateful for them, because I feel like not expressing that gratitude, not having some sort of gratitude practice is actually what's leaving you out in the cold. The other piece to me feels like if you need help, and there is a resource for you that's shining like this beautiful beacon, like accept that help, right? So it could, I mean, that could even be something like going to couples therapy or like reading a book about how to communicate. It could be something specifically having to do with your manifestation, like what I was feeling from this Princess of Pentacles. Maybe you're trying to manifest, I don't even know what, like a new business or something, right? And you have a friend who you could consult with and ask them like, well, how did you get your business off the ground, right? I feel like there are resources around you that want to help you. This 5 of Swords is funny that I talked about church earlier, because I have often channeled this particular one in this deck as like almost like the ego of organized religion in a way. I don't know. Let me think of how to explain that. It's kind of like the pieces of spirituality that became sort of shameful or controlling or like fear-based. So sort of that fear of like sin, or that fear of, gosh, I don't even know, like original sin, right? Like something that we couldn't even control. Kind of taking the love and the beauty that is spirituality and having it be like twisted or contorted or almost like betrayed in a way. It's just because that's the energy of 5 of Swords, is that like betrayal, kind of like a dirty trick, a dirty win. But then it has this cross, which is such an obvious like church symbolism for me, right? So I don't know if there's somewhere where you are struggling spiritually, maybe healing some old spiritual wounds. It's funny that I had talked about that with the 5 of Pentacles, that they're outside the church. Maybe you don't trust something about spirituality or organized religion or a church specifically. That is a bit of a specific message, so it might not resonate for everyone, but with those 2 cards together and getting that message, I just wonder if there is some spiritual healing to do here, which is maybe causing some of this burden. Because, I mean, if you're in a twin flame connection, it's a very spiritual connection, right? So if you're having spiritual upsets, those are definitely going to be brought to the forefront of your connection in order to heal, because it's meant to be brought up and dealt with and kind of resolved, right? Brought to a place of peace and healed within your consciousness. So that was a lot. I feel like I'm talking really fast today. I'm just channeling all this stuff. So the High Priestess and the Temperance, I'm super drawn to the fact that Temperance is the angel. I had mentioned Archangel Gabriel before. Temperance has the rainbow, just like this Queen of Swords and Ace of Cups. It feels very divine. So particularly just speaking about like Mary and the Immaculate Conception and the church, and then to have this beautiful angel card here. I'm super drawn to the fact that Temperance has the water, right? The water in these cups, and that water, just like the Ace of Cups, representing like this really pure, beautiful love. Like I'm thinking of when you go into church and they have that little, I don't know what you call it, the container of like water that you would dip your fingers in and kind of like do the sign of the cross or whatever. I'm feeling like a purification here, just like this very holy, beautiful, spiritual purification. And like, if you're not religious, I'm not really, I'm very spiritual. I'm not really big into religion. So I mean, I have my own personal religious things to heal from when I was a kid, but this doesn't necessarily have to mean like go to church, right? But I feel like that water, like maybe you go to like a river and sort of like baptize yourself or like cleanse yourself or something. I don't know. There's just a feeling there of being made new in like a spiritual way that feels really beautiful. I don't know what this has to do with your romantic connection, other than I feel like this is the healing that's happening kind of around that 10 of Wands. But I'm kind of more feeling this, I guess, on like an individual level, that you, my listener, could be doing this healing. And that's kind of like your half of the garden, right? So I don't know what healing your partner is going to be doing. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's something different, but I do feel like maybe this is kind of like your side of the garden. The High Priestess, I'm drawn to the fact that we just had the full moon in Cancer. And we have the full moon here in this card. So this feels like a very current energy to me. The High Priestess, she kind of just feels like, the other day when I used this deck, I said did I use this deck for the weekly reading? I love this deck. I just wanted to use it again. I feel like she's got that dark goddess vibe again almost. So we've got this angel, which is really representing the light. And we've got this beautiful, protective, like transformative, it feels very like this very powerful divine feminine energy. And again, that's just the gender in the card, as I always caveat, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be feminine, but it feels like that, I guess. That's the vibe I'm getting from her. She's this really divine feminine energy, this part of you that is willing to dive into the depths of yourself, of your soul, right? To go to those dark areas, to go to those places where you're feeling alone, left out, hurt, betrayed. And then with this Temperance card, really taking that water, it symbolizes that love, right? Like filling those places that have been hurt within you with divine love, like channeling the love of the universe through your own heart in order to love yourself. It's very beautiful. We got Justice. That's special. I like that. I feel like I'm drawn to the fact that both Justice and Temperance are like balance cards. Temperance big time is about coming into balance, right? And that Justice is kind of like karma intervening, but I'm really just getting the balance aspect. It's also sticking out to me that it reminds me of Libra, and I'm not really sure why. I don't know if there's anything important going on in Libra right now. I was just looking at the planetary placements the other day. I don't remember any of them being in Libra, but I don't know. Maybe someone who's listening is a Libra. But I do feel that, like, the universe, I feel... Let me think of how to say this. So I call the energy of the universe God. That's just my preferred word for it. But I feel like if you're in this collective, God sees you healing this. God has seen you carrying this burden, right? And I feel like it's justice coming in because you're doing the inner work, right? You're going into those dark places within yourself and transforming them and releasing what needs to be released and, you know, bringing love there and bringing fairness and peace there. I feel like there's just some divine, like, protection, almost like the divine is lending you like energy, in order to support you with this. It's really beautiful. So if you're in this collective, you might even want to say, like, you know, God source, the universe, whatever you like to call it. I would say God, I choose for you to help me transform this energy and do this healing. I think that would be really powerful to say. So the Six of Cups is so sweet. I love that. I'm drawn to these little figures on the unicorn and the possibility of these flowers like about to blossom, right? This just feels really fun and joyful. I feel like this is you and whoever is your romantic partner. Like now that you guys have sort of put down these 10 of Wands, the heaviness of that burden is gone. It's like almost like you yourselves are transformed into these rainbows, this beautiful kind of starry light energy, and the lightness of your connection, the lightness of your love and of your spirits as you're releasing this heaviness. It's like you put down this burden, you do this healing, and now you guys can like soar through the stars together. It's such a beautiful, innocent energy. I love that. The Seven of Pentacles. I feel like okay, so the Seven of Pentacles is like almost the opposite of that. I feel like she's kind of looking longingly at them. I'm drawn again, sometimes I'm drawn to the fact that like these horses are actually flying in the background without her. So in this card, these guys are actually on one of those horses, right? In this card, she is not on it. And she's kind of the card of like divine timing. She can be a card of waiting or regretting timing, feeling like maybe she missed something, right? Or she's afraid to make a choice or not make a choice and have it be like the wrong one. But I'm feeling in this energy, it almost feels like that left out energy, similar to the Five of Pentacles. She's like, is it time? Can I get on the horse yet? Like, I'm super drawn to the pentacle in her heart. I feel like that's the crux of this message for me, is like, you don't need to stay stuck. This is her in her garden. I feel like this is going to be the vibe of you and your partner if you guys don't embrace like this energy. And it doesn't mean forever you're doomed if you don't do this right now or something. I don't read tarot like that at all. I do feel like if you let this energy pass, you're going to kind of have that vibe somewhere inside of you where you're going to be like, did I miss an opportunity here? Like, was there something that I was supposed to do? Or maybe this energy will pass and you'll see it affecting somebody else. And you'll be like, oh man, I wish I had done that in this energy or whatever. So anyways, I feel like there's maybe a bit of worry about being left out. And I feel like that's just the message, is that this energy is so positive and so beautiful and so supportive that if this resonates for you and you choose to embrace this energy and kind of heal and release whatever this burden is, it just feels like it's totally worth it. You're so supported. And it's going to feel incredible for you to be on that Pegasus with your person, like flying through the stars. It's such a lovely energy. I feel like I need to move these guys over a little bit. Yeah, it almost just feels like an energy of like this particular opportunity would pass you by, right? If you weren't choosing to engage with it. And that's life. Like, it doesn't mean it'll never come around again. It just means the opportunity offered by this particular energy, if you're not like embracing it and choosing to work with it, it could pass you by. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you're doomed. All right, do you have any more messages? I was going to say, if this is me, I feel like I don't know. I love my readings. They're very fun and I always listen to them and then follow my own stuff. So I will be healing with this one later. And I'm definitely going to be looking into what I need to heal here because this energy is awesome. And I definitely claim this for myself. Pluto transformation, apology, and forgiveness. Interesting. Well, I mean, we talked about transformation. That one feels really obvious to me, right? We talked about the butterfly and pregnancy and sort of your manifestations coming into fruition and how this Knight of Wands and Eight of Wands are showing me that there's going to be like a fast change here. Apology and forgiveness. That's interesting. I'm just asking God in my head, like, what apology needs to happen here? I'm not seeing like you and your partner fighting or anything like that at all. The sort of tough energy here, the meat to chew on almost like in this reading is that Five of Pentacles and Five of Swords. So I almost wonder if there's somewhere that you kind of need to like apologize to yourself. and forgive yourself for, I don't know, like maybe some places where you've been hanging on to some old values or old beliefs or behaviors that are actually causing you more harm than good at this point. Like a super easy example that I can think of is that like maybe you, I don't know, like maybe you made a mistake at one point and now you believe that you're like a bad person or you're a sinner and that like no one could forgive you or something like that, right? Like to tell that part of yourself, like, I'm sorry that I've been believing this false thing, right? And be able to kind of move through that and realize that you are lovable, that you are able to be forgiven, right? And that that's really funny because that resonates too with that temperance and that Ace of Cups that I was saying. Like, I even mentioned the energy of like going into the river and like, I just keep seeing like a baptism. So like, please don't go in the river if you live in the Northern Hemisphere and it's like freezing cold right now, right? But I just keep having this mental image of someone kind of washing themselves or like dunking themselves in a river, almost like, yeah, like a baptism in the river or something. There's something that feels so fresh and clean, and it's almost like there's a need for like to wash the slate clean, right? To kind of wash the soul clean and really forgive like some mistakes that you've made or choices that you wish you didn't make. There's really like kind of a hard regret energy in here. That feels pretty significant. So I feel that, like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a river, right? You could even take a bath or like take a shower and just sort of imagine like the water trickling down from the shower head, sort of like washing your body and your soul clean. There's something that just feels very cleansing about water. This is beautiful. This is really beautiful. I feel like it's just apologizing to yourself for feeling that you were unworthy, right? This is decisions. Yeah, I mean, all of this is up to your free will. Decisions. I really just feel that as it's your decision if you want to heal in this energy or not, right? I feel like if you want to, there's a huge opportunity for you here. And maybe being really clear with the universe about this, like saying, I choose to heal this. I choose to move through this like religious wounding or this place where I'm feeling betrayed and left out. It doesn't have to be a religious wound. That's just an example I was giving to, I don't know, kind of make the energy clear, I guess. I feel like there's one more card. I'm not getting one coming out. Okay, I got 3. We got change, courage, guarded vulnerability, and twin flames. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Yin Yang Oracle. I think there's like, I don't know, there's like a jabillion cards in here, right? Like there's so many cards. So to get the twin flame one after I've been talking about twin flames, this whole reading is like a pretty cool sign. Especially with all those swans and stuff. I love that. So change and courage, yeah, like this, you and your partner together, like this card is like the crux of this reading. This image is so beautiful. You and your partner together are tending to your spiritual garden, to the garden of your relationship. You guys are both growing, you're both changing, and you're doing it so in tandem. I keep seeing this transformation happening, the two of you at exactly the same rate, right? So in a lot of relationships, maybe one partner grows faster and one grows a little slower and then eventually kind of grow away. But with twin flames, you make the same decisions at the core. So I feel like as you're transforming, you're really transforming like exactly at the same level with each other. So having the courage to change, having the bravery to change, because when you heal this upset and you release this burden of the 10 of Wands, that change does come in really fast. And like I said, it's beautiful. I mean, I feel like I said, I see this as you and your partner sort of flying off with this beautiful lightness as these little like divine cosmic beings. Is so cute. Guarded and vulnerability. I feel like that's just such a cornerstone of twin flames, is like, being able to let down any place inside of you where you feel guarded and defensive, and be able to be vulnerable, be able to be honest. So maybe even if this is like an individual healing that you're doing, maybe sharing like the nature of your healing with your partner, and being able to say like, hey, I realize that there's this block within me or this place where I'm having an upset. And just sharing that, right? That this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm healing. I wonder if your partner would even be able to help you or kind of like give you a next piece. But this is really cool. I'm just feeling with all of my heart, like jump on that flying alicorn with your divine partner and like fly off into the stars. It's such a beautiful energy. If you're in this collective, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.